elevator, but the ranks on the way with the fleet. Take a seat, or stay out the reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Backing, they backing up.
Quick shot, scored!
Yeah, don't ask if you thinking we different. You trash and I'm picking the litter. I'ma spend a whole bag, I'm still getting rich. Really it figures, life's the bitch, now I'm intimate with it. Got hunger, but I'm skipping the dinner to give him the picture. Get him my gold, they ain't giving the silver. They ain't really the winners, long as you still in the mix. That's a real bad luck, brother. Now I got them all shook, brother. I ain't playing by the book, brother. They'll be reading what it took, brother. Soon enough they'll be understood, brother. Started doing everything I could, now I'm doing what you can in case you mistook. Place with grace, but I can't stay put. I'm made to be self-made and make way with the fleet. Take a seat or stay out of reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Backing, they backing up.
A drop of the puck, and away we go as we welcome you in to the Canadian Crown live at the GFL Twin Arenas here in Devon, Alberta. St. Albert, quick strike, and they can't get it to go as Zavaleta shuts the door. I tell you, these teams are allergic to introductions. You try and say anything that's not related to the immediate game at hand, and they go right for the throat as the St. Albert Sabres come away with a opportunity right off the bat. And now we come away with the LA Junior Kings with the puck in the other end of the ice. Now we'll see what they have here early on. Feed to the right wing side. Wrist shot into the glove of Dvorak. As Jackson Dvorak getting the start on the side of the Sabres. And of course, you already mentioned his name once. It is Mikey Zavaleta from the LA Junior Kings. Of course, this squad riding the absolute high from their overtime victory last night to finish off the evening against NAX. At one point, they were down 3-0. I believe it was in the first 3 minutes of the first period. And then they battle back. They come away with a 7-6 lead. Near the end of it all, a late tying goal got the game to overtime. And then LA dig in and come away with a massive victory in overtime. Definitely improving their efforts, trying to venture towards a berth in the Canadian Crown A-Division Championship group. Here's Ruptash up to the line as St. Albert will send it across. Down it goes as Timko battling against the end wall with Sweet. As Fabian and Thomason try to play it up the far wall. Back for it in the far side as Lee sends it around the far side. Spano contact over there as Keeler now for St. Albert. Plays it down low, centering pass, knocked away by Sweet. And then follows it up again over to Keeler. Back to the line, shot high over top of the goal. Kicked it from skate to stick as Keeler controls. Keeler to the opposite side. Shot wide of the cage. Bounces back off the side of the goal. Zavaleta down just in case. As that puck will make its way out to center. They call a glove hand pass as that one deflected off of one Sabre and goes to another. Ian Wilson with the call on behalf of the incredible broadcast crew of Trick Shot Sports Production that does not miss. Happy to have you with us as we share in this game with you wherever you find us from. Some Alberta versus LA action as St. Albert taking on the LA Junior Kings here as both of these teams looking to make an impact here on Friday. Contact in the corner as LA trying to work it around the outside. Sabres knock the puck ahead, stolen away. Cutting across the high zone area was Masashi Herman. Herman towards the middle. Turn. Lee couldn't fire. He was the overtime hero from last night's game against NAX. Picked off. Mattening. Wrister deflected high off the safety netting, out of play. As the LA Junior Kings picking up that victory against NAX. The home side had a big crowd out to see them. And the Junior Kings coming in clutch in that one. As the faceoff coming near side. Look to win it back. Following up is Logan Hughley. Far wing side for the Sabres. As they'll get it at the right point. Tried to chip it through. Here's a look now for Deslin Grimes Jr. Picked off as the Raiders work their way forward. Crashing their way into the zone as Ruptash comes away with a puck poked away. As the opportunity there goes off the stick of Jack Lebowitz. Working their way forward, Grimes Jr. Right wing side. Goes around the outskirts, takes the shot. Loved. As they'll send it off of the boards. That one hits the official skate, reversed back to the near wing. Deslin Grimes Jr. holds it in off of the wall. It'll wrap around to the opposite corner. As down low, in on the check was Clinton Young. Sabres now battle their way up to the red line. Shot in off of the end board. Zavaleta will take the mustard off it. Leaves it, and a quick pass as they cut across in behind the cage and out the near side. As there was Zachary Berriman. Here's Witchin. Witchin drags it through. As Witchin tried to get it across, no dice. Buchanan, no good. As now Huscroft battles against the wall, sends it to the line, slides it across off the boards near wing, and a heavy check down low as Grimes Jr. took Witchin into the end boards. Turned around and played against the end boards, now working their way out in front. Good look there for Jack Lebowitz. Bank pass to Berriman, far side, and they'll chip that one into the attacking zone. Play it off of the end wall, and around it goes as the Sabres chip and chase on the near side. Dumped in on Zavaleta. He'll steer it to the opposite side. Johan Lee. Lee gave it away to Timko. Sabres now on the counterattack. Round the outside. Here's Keeler. Backhand to the point. Sabres, the shot tipped. Zavaleta, the toe save. And the rebound will come out to Thomason. Right wing feed. Tries to drag it through to the middle. No dice for Kim. Johan Lee over to Sweet. Sweet. And just missed the tip on that one. But the netminder had come out of the crease. But does not matter. It was already indicated and called as the icing. As we look back to the games yesterday, as this LA Junior Kings squad coming away with a 5-4 loss at the hands of UCC before then picking up the overtime victory to end the day against NAX. And St. Albert dropping a 2-goal decision to UCC. That one's off of the post, and the rebound sent around wide. And then St. Albert's, their other contest the other day, a 7-2 loss at the hands of NAX. So 0-2 right now, looking to try and right some wrongs in their final game of the round robin. And of course, for the LA Junior Kings, this also their final contest, looking to solidify their spot in semifinal Saturday. Nice work by Keeler, kept out by Sweet, as he'll pin against the end boards. Keeler and Fabian coming together with Sweet as well. There's Johan Lee. As Thomason will play it to the middle for Kim. That's sent off of the boards, and around it goes. Sweet checking the shoulder. A backhander from D to D goes to Johan Lee on the far side. Lee off of the boards. As that'll work its way out, St. Albert sent it right back in. That was Bennett Cito getting the dump in play. Here's Sweet. Pass left wing side as they gain the line and fire that one forward. Raiders, Brady McDonald with it. Over the line. Onto the backhand, takes it down low to the goal line, tried to shovel it in front, ended up keeping it himself. McDonald feeds it through as the Raiders. Onto the forehand, tried to play it through, no dice. Jackson down low, Lee steps in between him and the puck, as then Aaron Lee pokes it forward. Aaron Lee back to Matning. As Matning takes the stick with him as he keeps marching forward. Right wing side, tried to feed it into the middle. Then sent around the cage and back to the near side. Chipped off of the boards, away from Matning. Held in as it's fired off a body. Here's the turn, fire, deflected. Glove down, right beside the goal for Sam Driver. Onto the forehand, tried to drag it through. Poked away as King. King sends it up the far side. In on side on the right wing, tried to send it to the middle. As Hall in the area. That's chipped off of the wall and out. Herman back up, takes the shot. Wide of the goal, comes out near side, collected off of the wall. There's a look for Lebowitz. Turn and tries to fire it off of the post. Or off of the boards, I should say, to get out of the zone. Here's Lebowitz again. Top of the circle, shoved down. One hand on the stick, able to make the play, but then it's forced out into center ice area. Right wing, dumped in, cross seam to the opposite corner. As the bump there, Lebowitz in on the forecheck. Stolen away down low in the corner. Feeds it to the middle, skips over the stick of Connor King at the opposite point. King goes back for it. Shot up the far side, tipped forward by St. Albert as they look to attack the Sabres. Drawing back into their own corner. Turning in the corner under pressure was Finn Smith. Tries to play it to the center, runs into a whole bunch of sticks. It'll come out left wing side. Grimes Jr. pinching in off of the blue line, takes it into the corner. Under pressure, able to play it in behind the cage. It'll reverse out the opposite side. Smith, bank shot off the boards. It escapes out to LA territory. Junior Kings knocked away as Grimes Jr. jumps up. Hip check as he throws it out at the blue line. Not every day you see a hip check thrown. Makes good contact there with the player bearing down to enter the zone. A little bit of old school hockey there out of Grimes Jr. Sabres on the counterattack as Berriman gets a piece of the puck, looking to chip it up the wall. Held in at the line as they cut across. Right wing to the middle, here's Berriman. Berriman feeds it, tries to make the play as it bounced off a couple of sticks. There's Spano, gets it to the right, takes the shot, stopped. And Dvorak able to cover up on the rebound. The Junior Kings were lurking for a rebound in the area. None is going to present itself. And Jackson Dvorak. Seen him a multitude of times in this tournament. Making another appearance here. It's again 3 different netminders listed for St. Albert up at this tournament. Baron Bruinsma, Jackson Dvorak, and Nash Shriver-Smith. Face-off coming left wing side. They'll try this one again as the Kings were waved out. Spano will come in to replace in the face-off circle. In behind the cage, they'll chip it off of the boards, left wing side. As they tip it off of the wall, turning and looking up ice. Here's an opportunity now as the shot blocked by Berriman, a chance to turn and burn for the Kings. Spano, 3-on-2 with Grimes Jr. joining the rush. Kim's there as well. Lost it after the contact against the boards. Good forechecking pressure as they play it up the center. Goes all the way out. Johan Lee will send it down ice, and that will be iced as it goes the distance. Berriman was thinking about trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the officials, but they catch him red-handed. He'll be sent back out to deal with the results of that icing. So the face-off, 10-21. Left to go here in this first period. Fabian out with Berriman, as well as Kim, Johan Lee, Tyler Spano. As off of the draw, puck will come over to the near side. Berriman had switched sides, went right past it. As it reverses to the opposite wing. McDonald comes together with a man. Jackson will turn and put it down low and behind the cage. Berriman banks it to Johan Lee. That one reached and missed it. Did Cito, so it goes the distance. And again, the consequences for the icing have been made apparent. LA Kings going to have to dig in early on here. A couple of tired legs out there on the ice. They've been out for multiple shifts, and now with the puck iced a second time in a row, the Raiders are going to try and capitalize with their fresh bodies out on the ice. Wins it back to the blue line. Somebody's stick going on a vacation as it gets dumped in behind the cage out in the near corner. Berriman checking the shoulder, gets driven into the boards as Fabian to Johan Lee. Stretch feed intended for Kim, and he beat out the icing call. Is he quick enough? Unfortunately not. As that will go the distance once again, so not able to get anybody out once again. They win the battle down low, but at the very least, they come away with the chance now back in their own zone. Johan Lee going to get a quick discussion from Tanner Turcotte as we chatted with him, as well as Mr. Ruptash from the Raiders. Here's a look from the wing. Shot, scores! Cruz Buchanan rips one from the near circle, and St. Albert strike first. 1-0 here at Dale Fisher. As Buchanan puts it in cruise control to the bottom of the near circle and lets it rip. Zavaleta might have got a piece of it on the glove side, but it gets between the glove and the top of the pad. A little bit of jousting in the face-off circle. Finally, the puck is dropped, and we've got a 1-0 game for the Sabres. St. Albert strike. As the Sabres, a shot stopped by Zavaleta. As the Raiders now send it back out in front. Stretch pass, knocked down and dumped right back into LA territory. Grimes Jr., Mattening will have it. Spins onto the backhand. Played it over far side as Lee now. Aaron Lee dumps it in. Gives chase off of the end boards. As Sloan Hall in there as well on the forecheck. There's Kobe Jackson trying to reverse it up the wall. Picking it up down low, Aaron Lee shovels it off the side of Dvorak. Contact in front as the two players tied up over top of one another. They'll finally separate as the official is going to blow play down. As the LA Junior Kings player was a little bit slow getting up. Might have got a stick between the legs there as the official saw the player was down and decided to blow play down out of abundance of caution. It was Masashi Herman who was involved in that altercation, but he will head off to the bench. Able to bounce back up and get there under his own power, obviously, which is always a good sign. Lebowitz wins it back as King will send it around near side to Mattening. Young tried to make the play off of the boards. Lebowitz reaching for it to the middle with pace. Nice move. Lebowitz in. Wrist shot. Glove save Dvorak. Rebound goes to Lebowitz. They'll battle against the end boards now. Lebowitz looking to try and dig it free with Young. Waiting in the middle there will be Logan Hughley. Played in behind the cage. St. Albert back in, pitting the man against the wall. Battle continues as they center in front off a stick as St. Albert look to take it out of the defensive zone. Poked forward as here come the Sabres. Keeler on the backhand pressure. Mattening watching him. King there as well. Reverse to the near side. Timko. Timko a backhander. Stop. Rebound. They score! Keeler knocks it home as St. Albert double it up 2-0 now the score. The Sabres go back to back as Keeler finds that puck. The rebound went through the three bodies in front of Zavaleta, and the second chance strikes true. Off the pad, back to Keeler, and then in the back of the goal. Very reminiscent of yesterday, as NAX was able to get a solid lead early on the LA Junior Kings in that final contest over on Zender from day number 1. But of course, there is a whole lot of resiliency baked into this LA Junior Kings squad. We saw that on display with their 8-7 overtime victory last night. Berriman able to get it out of the zone. Spano chasing it down, dumped it forwards, knocked away by the defense. Poked free. Just held on side, but the follow-up does send it out to neutral territory. Sabres with it again in their own zone. Rink-wide feed. Bearing down as Grimes Jr. retreats, uses the stick, played to the middle off a skate. And then Spano now has a chance, 2-on-2 with Grimes Jr. Grimes Jr. stops, takes, gets through to Spano. Couldn't get a play on it, though, with the backhand. Centering feed, chopped away in front. As the Sabres now on the far side, they'll chip it off of the window as Berriman puts it off the window as well. Again, the pinball keeps going back and forth through the neutral zone. This game's been a little end-to-end early on. Physical play there and behind the goal. Sabres keep with the puck, though, knocking it ahead. Here comes St. Albert. Here's Ruptash. Tried to center, knocked away from in front of the goal by King. He and Ruptash come together as they'll send it down low. Ruptash on the forecheck is now Hall. Gave it away. Fired off the far side wall. Looking to bank it into the zone. Zavaleta will leave it for Sweet. Cole Sweet to the far side. Cutting across the middle now is King. Little chip pass to Hall. Sloan Hall has it off of the spin move and just runs right over his man there. Shoves him out of the way. Plays it back up to the right point. King down the half wall. Left side, Sloan Hall tried to shoot low off of the pad. Goes in behind the cage. Backhander off the boards, held in by King. Played to the front of the goal off the back skate there of Herman. Back to the line. King shot, tipped, saved by Dvorak. Working after the rebound, but none is there. As Aaron Lee will go in to join the conversation. Masashi Herman with a nose for the net. Got a couple of cracks of that loose puck before play was finally blown down. Did come loose as the whistle went. So no fault there of Herman. The puck was still loose, but again, unfortunately, the one referee system. Only so many angles that their eyeballs can cover. They're usually going to err on the side of the netminder has it. Shots tied up at 9 apiece. 5.5 roughly left to go in this first period. St. Albert with a pair of goals have them with a comfortable lead right now. But when they think about what LA did last night, they might not be so comfortable. In the near corner now. Young under pressure. As they play it in behind the cage. Cito looking ahead. Little chip pass, knocked down at the line, and then worked out to the neutral zone. Worked back in again as Logan Hughley following up as it's ripped around the bottom side of the boards, tipped off a stick, and Hughley crashes in on the forecheck once again. Sabres now play it to the middle. Here's Zach Ruptash. Ruptash, that one's off the blocker of Zavaleta and up out of play. .231 Mountain Standard Time here in the afternoon. Happy to have you with us. 4:51 remaining in the first period. St. Albert get the early start in this game as they have a 2-0 advantage. It's the LA Junior Kings in familiar territory from last night's game. Nice poke by Spano and then taken out as the arm goes up from the official. That will be a penalty called against Smith McIntyre. That'll be an interference call as they jumped the gun at the line, able to poke it forward and then taken down before they had a chance to make a play on the puck. So 4:42 left to go here in this opening frame. 2 minutes on the penalty clock. And again, because the puck was iced, I believe, by LA, they come away with the middle ground as they have the puck go into the neutral zone instead of all the way back down to their end because of the power play impending. Mattening threw that one off a couple of legs. King back to Mattening, back to King. Trades places with Fabian as King, utilizing the body, shielding the puck, drops it back to Mattening. Inching their way as they choose the right wing side now. Lurking it down low, tried the sharp angle feed, goes wide. Mattening down the half wall. Plays it down low, centering pass as they'll control this puck in the corner. Thomason, centering pass. Quick shot by Spano, stopped by Dvorak as he finds it through the weeds in front. As 4:05 left to go here in this first period. 1:23 left on the power play. And still sitting in the box right now is Smith McIntyre. LA looking to chip away at the lead. Off the boards it goes. Back to the line for Johan Lee. Across left wing side. Down to the goal line. Tried to knock it away, but a good stick and skate there from Sam Driver. As Lee now slides it down the wall, looking, shooting off the side of the goal. Driver couldn't clearly clean that one. Cleanly clear that one, that's the word I was looking for, as it finally makes its way out to the LA Junior Kings side of the rink. Johan Lee for Cole Sweet. As Sweet under pressure up high from Cruz Buchanan. Sweet dropped it off, Buchanan stole it and fired it down. In their own end, Lee will try the far side this time. They'll crisscross now as Aaron Lee. Aaron Lee to Johan Lee. Here's Buchanan in the area. Junior King, stretch pass, left side, tipped in. In on it they go as they play it down low. Battle continues against the wall. Can they knock it free? We got just about everybody on the ice over in the corner right now. Good penalty killing by St. Albert as they were able to kill off a ton of time from that penalty clock. Down to 16 seconds on the man advantage. As fresh legs coming out. Young, Grimes Jr., Lebowitz, as well Zachary Berriman. And on that left wing side, looks like Logan Hughley. Be sure to stay with us at the intermission as we'll hear from a member of St. Albert, Mr. Zach Ruptash, as well as the assistant coach for the LA Junior Kings, Mr. Tanner Turcotte. Be able to catch up with a couple of familiar voices from this Canadian Crown prior to this game. We'll hear from them at the intermission. Saucer feed across, knocked down at the line. Young looking, shooting, wide left. Calling for it if they could get it at the opposite blue line, but they can't find him a clean feed, so that's fired off of the window down. And that will be iced. So the Sabres stuck back in their own zone. They successfully kill off the penalty as Lebowitz and company have an opportunity to try and push the advantage. They've now taken a shot lead, but again, they have to turn that into offensive productivity. LA have had a good pushback here in the second half of the opening frame as when it's come to the St. Albert Sabres, they had the quick strike offense and they had puck possession at the first half, but LA have rebounded in a good way here. Played it to the right wing side, poked away from Grimes. Berriman follows up, gets hit for his efforts as Keeler spins and dumps it in. Down to 2:15 remaining in the first period. Grimes Jr. up the near wall as they reverse back around to Berriman. Berriman played forward, knocked down at the line, chipped to the near side. Has a backhander, works its way from one side to the other. Played up the wall to the blue line, reverse to Grimes. Grimes gains the red, gains the blue. Left wing at the circle, dropped it back to Lebowitz just out of his reach. Following up was Berriman, poked away again as the Sabres look to counterattack. Good stick there from Hughley. Back in their own zone, the Sabres now D to D as they reverse up the near side. Chipped in, deflected off a player as Hughley will feather it through right wing side. Berriman taken out heavy against the wall by Smith McIntyre. Backhand centering feed no good, picked off. As they'll work their way from the near side to the far side. Takes the shot, blockered away as it comes out to the line. Here's a look, shot into the glove of Dvorak. And now a penalty coming here, as right after the whistle, it was Eli Fabian taken down. And is that Smith McIntyre again? It looks like it is. We'll see the wrister from the right side into the glove, and then immediately there's that little bit of an extra shove to the back of the head. Back-to-back penalties now for Smith McIntyre as he'll be back in the box once again. Doesn't pay the price the first time, but will we see it cost his team here? Mattening's shot blockered away. Cutting through, Masashi Herman plays it to the front of the goal. Fabian knocked down, controlled there and fired out by Smith. Held into the line by King. Down the half wall, back to King at the right point. Left side now. Mattening tried to get it down low. Goal line side in the corner. Back up to Mattening. Mattening across right side. Here's King. King loads, fires. Dvorak the save. Not a lot between him and the shooter. "44 seconds left in the opening frame. Again, be sure to stay with us as we'll have a brief hello in the broadcast booth and then some interviews. First with Ruptash as well as Mr. Tanner Turcotte. The two of them we'll hear from in the intermission. Sloan Hall won it back. Left side blue line now. 30 seconds gone by on the power play. King had a bit of trouble with it. Tracks it down. Chips it up the wall. Gloved forward. Touched by a King to negate the glove hand pass. Good knockdown by King at the line. Hall, backhand feed. One-timer sent over top of the goal as it looked like Herman got all of that one. Battle continues on the half wall. Down to 18 seconds left here in this first period. Rips it around the board. Comes out left wing side. As Masashi Herman, back it goes right side. King tipped in front. Big Sloan Hall was blocking all the vision there of Dvorak. That'll do it for the opening 20. A good few final looks for the LA Junior Kings. 48 seconds of power play time is going to carry over into the next period. As right now, St. Albert, a solid start to this game. They come away with a 2-goal advantage, and they'll be hungry for more coming up in the next period. As we'll welcome you in to the Crow's Nest up in the corner, Dale Fisher Arena. Ian Wilson with you on behalf of the wonderful broadcast crew of Trick Shot, sports production that does not miss. Happy to have you here wherever you find us from, as we've got the U15 Elite Canadian Crown raging on here at GFL Twin Arenas in Devon. We've got the St. Albert Sabres and the LA Junior Kings. It's a 2-0 game for St. Albert. A little bit of Canada-US action here, as some of the best and brightest from across North America have descended upon Devon to see who is going to come away with the Canadian crown wearing heavy upon their heads. Solid start to the game from St. Albert. They get it done from multiple levels, and they get some good goals on the board as they get a couple past Zavaleta, including that nice rebound by Keeler, as just throw the puck on goal and good things happen. You sound like a broken record up here in the broadcast booth, but it's for a good reason. A lot of times, if you work hard to get to the tough areas, you will be rewarded, and that's exactly what happens there for the Sabres. And the Sabres 0-2 coming into this final game of their round robin, so their hopes at coming into the A division are very, very, very slim, if not completely eliminated, but there is still a lot to play for, as again, at the end of the day, the Canadian Crown, the trophy itself, it's all about bragging rights, as are a lot of these tournaments, but again, it's the memories and skills you make and develop along the way that are what matters, especially with all the eyes that are on this tournament. The scouts, family, friends, fans have come out in droves. There's been a lot of people out there. It's tough to get to the locker rooms to find interviews and coaches and pronunciations and everything of the like, but it's a great feeling here at Dale Fisher and Shane Zender, the GFL Twin Arenas here in Devon. Again, we caught up with both
Canadian Crown fans, Ian Wilson
from the LA
alongside
Junior Kings, their assistant coach, as well as number 16, Zach Ruptash from the St. Albert Sabres. Let's hear what they had to say prior to this contest as the intermission show rolls along.
How's it going, Canadian Crown fans? Ian Wilson alongside Tanner Turcotte, one of the coaches of the LA Junior Kings ahead of their contest here at the Dale Fisher Arena. Tanner, my goodness, we got to start first. Just talk to us a bit about that wild contest last night against NAX.
That was definitely one of the toughest opponents we ever faced on this team. You know, it was really definitely scary a little bit to be alone on the bench, and but I was glad to have the boys pull together, pull a big win for us. So,
hey, and you come away with the big victory, and of course Spires with some big saves down the stretch. I believe it was Lee that got the overtime winner. How much of that now carries over to today as far as that emotion that we're going to see out on the ice to start this game?
I think it brings the boys a little bit closer together. Like each game, there's been more character development off the ice, as it translates well on the ice, is having each other back, right, and working hard, and they know now what they're here for.
Fantastic. And last thing I got for you, what are some of the keys to this upcoming game here against this tough squad? You guys are looking to come away with another big victory here now that you got the win against Nax.
I think keeping it simple, you know, trying to get checks in, finish our hits, pucks in deep, right? It's just it's a really tough game.
Yep.
You know, every game's never going to be the same, and you know, we have to treat it like everything's a championship. So
absolutely,
the boys are here for us. So
fantastic. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on that win last night, and good luck today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How's it going, Canadian Crown fans? Ian Wilson alongside Zach Ruptash from the St. Albert Sabres ahead of their game against the LA Junior Kings here on Friday to finish off the round robin. And Zach, what a tournament it's been so far. Lots of excitement. How have you been so far?
We've been playing pretty good. You know, just need to get some better starts here.
Absolutely. That's obviously a good start, is always a way to gain some momentum in a contest. What are some of the other things you guys got to do as far as the X's and O's and executing your game plan to try and win this game against LA?
Just play simple. You know, once we play simple, the rest will do itself.
And how would you describe your game of hockey? I mean, we've seen a couple games here on Dale Fisher, and you guys were a part of one of them. We saw some wicked goals from you. How would you describe Zach Ruptash hockey?
I think I'm a 200-foot player, can produce offensively.
100%. And what are these tournaments like? Obviously, it's a pretty exciting time, but it's got to be a good time to get on the road and bond with the boys.
Yeah, it's just so fun, you know, playing and then going out, you know.
100%. Last thing, give us a quick message for those fans and family that are tuning in back home.
Cheer for the St. Albert Sabres.
There we go. Well, thank you very much and good luck in your game.
Yeah, thank you.
Elevator, but the rains on the way with the fleet. Take a seat, or stay out of reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Backing, they backing up.
That here comes Bernie. Pass was picked up. Now in front. Quick shot scored!
Yeah, don't ask if you're thinking we different. You trash and I'm picking the litter. I'ma spend a whole bag, I'm still getting rich. Really it figures, life's the bitch, now I'm intimate with it. Got hunger, but I'm skipping the dinner to give him the picture. Get 'em my gold, they ain't giving the silver. They ain't really the win as long as we still in the mix. That's a real bad look, brother. Now I got 'em all shook, brother. I ain't playing by the book, brother. They'll be reading what it took,
on the
brother.
doorstep,
Soon enough you'll be understood, brother. Started doing everything I could, now I'm doing what you can in case you mistook. Place with grace, but I can't stay put. I'm made to be self-made and make way with the fleet. Take a seat, or stay out of reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Backing, they backing up.
Looking for a quick strike. They'll send it wide. As my goodness, don't even barely have time to get the volume turned up. Tip, they score! No time for preparation as LA have arrived on the scene to kick off the second period. 11 seconds in, they find a way to cut the lead in half. Beautiful tip in front into the top corner, and the Junior Kings have found themselves on the board. I had a feeling as I was putting on the headset, now I would need to do a quick, if no introduction, because it seems like these teams are finding ways to score faster and faster into the start of these periods, and I continue to be proven right. That's the fastest goal to kick off a period we've had scored at Dale Fisher so far this tournament. 11 seconds is the new record, as Dvorak will put that one in the glove for safekeeping. Well, welcome back. Ian Wilson with the call on behalf of the wonderful broadcast crew of Trickshot Sports Production that does not miss. Happy to have you with us here at the GFL Twin Arenas in beautiful Devon, Alberta. This is the Dale Fisher rink. Shane Zender is on the other side. That is what you were looking at last night if you were watching the LA Junior Kings take on NAX, as the Sabres coming away with one game on each. As Hall, pinning it against the board on the far side, waited for the contact and then tried to shovel it low. Back goes Johan Lee. In hot pursuit is Keeler, as they'll reverse it back into the attacking zone. Tracking back is Cito. Stanchion hop. Hall knocks it down. He'll follow up after it. He and Cito come together against the end wall. Cito, round to the near side. As Smith. Kings come together with the Sabres in front of the benches. Now Hall with it, cutting in, feeds it across. One-timer glove save! Dvorak! Little bit of robbery here in the second period. Nobody tell the local police where that man is staying. They'll have a couple of questions for him. A beautiful shot. Snatched away with the glove as LA that close to tying the game up at 2. Dvorak says no. The one-timer ends up in the leather, and you bet it is working. Off the draw, the Kings have been a team possessed in the opening moments of this second period. Shot tipped, goes wide, as St. Albert trying to find their way back to even footing. Been a little bit off kilter ever since that 11-second in goal. McDonald, nice move around the defender. Shot, stopped, rebound, they score! A beautiful move to start it out and a friendly bounce to finish it off. St. Albert restore the 2-goal lead, and they'll take it on a fortuitous deflection. The initial move by McDonald broke him free on the left wing side. The save rebounded off of Zavaleta and hit the player charging to the goal. Jackson will take it. It's a 3-1 game. And just like that, we're back to how we finished the first period. Been an exciting opening 2 minutes of the second period, as the Sabres now find themselves back up by 2. Here's a look for the Kings once again. Young shields, drops it back to Deslin Grimes Jr. Down low, it goes wide of the cage. Out the near side, back to the line for Berriman. Knocked down in the middle. Young tried to drag it through. Now Ruptash is going to break out. Good recovery, though, on the back check by Deslin Grimes Jr. Plays it off the wall, and around it goes in behind the cage far side. Berriman overskated it, recovered, and sends it back over, as Young will have a look up the middle. Young, time and space, cuts through the middle of the defense to the near side. Held onto the puck, played it down low for Lebowitz. Cito, good steal on the back pressure by Lebowitz. From his knee, was almost able to make the pass back to the line. Witchin, left wing side for Huscroft. Huscroft pass ahead is Cruz Buchanan. Little backhand feed. In behind the goal, a backhander will wrap around to the far side. Hughley, under pressure by Buchanan. Steals it away, sends it to the line. Waits, takes, tipped, and deflected by LA. The Junior Kings now trying to get this game back within one. Young, under pressure by Smith. Puck will come to rest on the stick of Witchin. Witchin to his left, gains the blue, feeds it back to the right. Dropped it up back on a opportunity. Now nice pass. Can they get it behind the defense? Hughley, good recovery by Keeler. Keeler tracking back. There's Aaron Lee. Lee spins on the contact against the corner boards. As Smith McIntyre pinning Lee right beneath us. Got the bird's eye view of that one. As they play it to the center. Timko back to Smith. Now left wing side for Ruptash. Tried to poke it to the middle. Timko able to corral the puck. Takes the wrist shot. Zavaleta the save. Into the corner now. Sabres. Little backhand feed in behind the cage. Centering pass knocked away by Sweet. As two Sabres crash right into one another. They'll turn and reverse to the far side. Here's Hall. Sloan Hall takes the contact to make the play. And he will ice the puck as a result. So it goes the distance. And now they're going to take it all the way back down to the LA side of the ice. Hope your week has been well. Thank you so much for joining us here as the U15 Elite Canadian Crown rages on. Ian Wilson with the call on behalf of the wonderful broadcast crew of Trickshot Sports Production that does not miss. Shots 18-13 in a 3-1 game that's in favor of St. Albert. LA have found a way to get a lot of rubber to the goal, but only one of those pucks has gone past. Left side for Huscroft, getting around Johan Lee. In to help out was Masashi Herman. As Herman will look to head up ice on a potential feed. There's Aaron Lee. Down low, helping out and behind the cage. And Cruz Buchanan into the forecheck, causing a whole bunch of problems. Herman tried to play it to the middle, was knocked away, left wing side. To the right now. Loads, fires through traffic wide. Plays it off of the end boards. Knocked it through to the opposite side as they'll play it ahead. Here's a look on the wing as the two of them will come together. Sloan Hall gets around his man, sent off of the end boards around to Cito. Cito under pressure by Herman. Cito will turn and put that one off of the boards around to the near side. Back of the line, held in, shot towards the goal, knocked through the legs of Driver. Driver off the boards. King heading back for it, and that is iced. Yeah, some fresh legs will come out for the LA Junior Kings to try and take advantage of a potentially more tired St. Albert squad. And the LA Junior Kings were 1-1 yesterday. St. Albert 0-2. Both teams looking to try and solidify their positioning in the upcoming divisional realignment for semifinal Saturday. A, B, and C divisions at stake. Spano over to Kim. Centering pass, never made it through to Thomason. Kim, good recovery on the back check, though, as Witchin gets it and breaks out. Witchin up the middle to his forehand, left side, pushing the puck as he tried to curl it back to the goal. Cruz Buchanan in the corner with Witchin. Centering pass. Smith had come in off of the blue line. Now here's a look with numbers. Good poke check on the back check by Buchanan. Shut down a potential opportunity in towards the goal. Spano, far side, back to the line. Mattening, shot through traffic, high and wide. King holds the line down low as the puck worked away from Kim. Van Oen and Brown crisscross. Brown to the middle. Contact knocks him down as the bodies flying everywhere just outside the blue line. Cruz Buchanan holding on to his stick. Into the zone they go. Near side, Lebowitz shoots. Shoulder save. Rebound went off the side of the goal. Lebowitz to the backhand. Feeds it across the zone. Far side, Hughley shot. Wide it goes. Around and behind the goal as they had to be careful not to have too many men on the ice. In behind the goal and wrapped around the far side. Buchanan run over by Matning. That'll look both ways before you cross the street. As they work their way to the far side corner, LA recover the puck. They've got a player behind the defense as Hughley will send it to the middle. Was just about onside, but then it was knocked back into the neutral ice area. Driver, near side corner. Stopped up, played it to the middle for Smith. Pass to the right wing. Off a stick, had to recover, did Jackson. As Young had to play it to the center, no good. Gave it away. Nice play by Lebowitz and a stop by Dvorak. Working their way forward. Saucer feet ahead, knocked down as Kobe Jackson tried to backhand it into the zone. And across it goes, far side. Snap pass ahead onto the backhand. And then they'll play it through. Off of the wall. As back it goes. Berriman reverses. They play off of the end wall. As Ruptash hit into the boards. Tried to play it towards the center. Near wing. Into the attacking zone they go. Shot deflected. Hughley going after the loose puck. McIntyre with it. That'll tip up onto the safety netting. Out of play. We get a stoppage coming. With a face-off on the near side right in front of us. As we'll see Masashi Herman out with Berriman, Aaron Lee, Sloan Hall. Back at the other line will be Deslin Grimes Jr. Witchin to take the draw. Huscroft, Buchanan, Brown, and McIntyre will be at his behest. Near side off of the corner. Backhanded up the wall, knocked down as they try and use the feet to kick it down lower. Witchin off the boards, held in by Berriman. Lee then sends a backhander into the corner. Centering pass, backhander goes wide as Hall got a chunk of it. Lee tried to go to the forehand. Cruz Buchanan says, I'll take that. Banks a pass ahead intended for Huscroft. In on side behind Grimes Jr. Hauled down. Ends up behind the cage. Smith fired it right back in. It'll wrap around the boards and come to the near side. As they overskate it. And on the follow-up, here's the opportunity. Far side for Masashi Herman. Off the skates. Cito the rebound will send it out to neutral ice. Berriman back in. As a delayed offside for Sloan Hall. Here's Witchin. As Witchin to his offhand side. Hall takes him out against the wall. Good physicality from the big man. Ends up in the near corner. Delayed offside. St. Albert, the Sabres forced to tag. Played to that far side wall. As the Kings drag it through onto the forehand. Good steal on the back check by Ruptash. Played it down low to Cito. Cito, contact there coming in off of the wall by Sweet. Back to the line, bouncing puck, held in initially. As then Sweet taken out by Timko. Contact with Ruptash, the backhand feed. Sent up the center, knocked away to the near side. Here's a look for LA. Far side, Sweet, wrister. That's up onto the safety netting. And out of play for a faceoff. 10-15, nearing the halfway mark of this period and of this contest here at Dale Fisher. Still one game to go after this here this evening. And two more over on Zender. So 4 games on Dale Fisher, 5 over on Zender. As it has been an action-packed tournament here for the U15 Elite. There have been a lot of eyes on this here hockey happening in Devon, Alberta. Thomason back to the line. Here's King. Fanned on the shot as McDonald. Here he goes. Left side. Can he get him behind the defense? Pass across. Just out of the reach of Jackson. Down low. Trying to chip it to the front of the goal. No dice. Kings will spin around. Matning up the wing. They'll chip it through. As they follow up, here's Driver. He'll play it off of the end boards. Would have been a dangerous pass up the middle. As McDonald and McIntyre backing off. There's 4 purple jerseys in the area. They get it to the line. A quick shot wide, banked off of the end wall. Driver to follow up, far side, rips it off the wall. As Van Oen skates onto it. Van Oen chips it forward. Nice play, just out of the reach of the man cutting to the goal. Would have been a great feed for Brady McDonald, but that one comes up just shy. LA Junior Kings run right into McDonald, who is potentially going out on a change. He'll come away with the puck, feeds it through. Nice drag move by Jackson in towards the goal, taken down on his way to the cage. So Zavaleta goes down on the contact from Kobe Jackson, and a penalty called here. As the drag move results in a penalty. Just under 9 to go. As Matning will be in the sin bin. As we now get a 2-minute minor on the board. Face off, one back to the line. Right side now, waiting, passing to the middle. Here's a steal from behind. Great defensive play there by Young. Here's a chance, 2-on-1 shorthanded. Young, one-timer, puts it wide. An opportunity there, just sent wide of the goal. Now here comes the counterattack. Ruptash on the wing. Sends it on goal, goes high and wide. Down to 8:30 remaining. As the backhander knocked away by McIntyre. Coming around the near side. McIntyre, left wing. Gets it right back up the middle. Down to 1:20 on the power play here. As that puck will be reversed back to the right side. Smith McIntyre holds it in. Waiting. Heavy check there by Berriman against the wall. Tried to play it back through. It's out of the reach of the skate of the Sabre. Will trickle all the way down to St. Albert territory. Minute left on the man advantage. McIntyre gains the red as he'll work his way through. That's shot off of the back wall. Hammered off of the boards as it comes to the near side for Smith. Right wing side now as they'll stop and curl around. Falling down, able to make the play to the line and out as Hughley follows up. Hughley, right wing side, little drag pass across as Grimes Jr. joined the rush. LA at the line, far side is Kim. Spivot hits Hughley, tips it wide. Comes up near side half wall. And now Hughley. Smith now. In behind the cage, gets help from Huscroft. Down to 7:14 remaining as we got 14 seconds left on this power play for the Sabres. St. Albert around the outside. Heavy pressure there by Johan Lee. Back to Smith at the line. Smith fanned on it. Hughley's able to chip it out. Excellent work on the penalty kill. Hughley gassed at the end of the shift. They're going to hustle over to the bench. Too many men on the ice there for St. Albert. They get away with one. They had about 7 or 8 bodies there. Pass to the opposite side. Knocked down by Aaron Lee. Played to the middle for Kim. Kim, opposite side. Stops up. Plays it back to the middle. Aaron Lee drops it back one-timer. Didn't get all of it. Johan Lee. Second chance. Back to Kim on the half wall. Kim across. One-timer. That one will miss trigger over to the near side. As off of the back of the skates of Jackson, a bit of a malfunction at the junction. Lee to take advantage. Sharp angle feed off the netminder and stays out. Played forward by Miller. Left wing side now as it's chipped ahead. Harrison Haig in on the forecheck. Out there alongside Zach Ruptash and company. Opportunity off of the wall. Aaron Lee chasing after it. Cito will get there first. Cuts across. Looking to knock this one loose. They'll play it around to the near side half wall. King checking the shoulder. Plays it off of the end boards. Looking for a bank to Lee as Hall goes after it. It's his man against the boards. And St. Albert a chance now to try and break out. Into the zone. Good defensive moves by King as he shields the puck around and behind the cage. And a backhander reversing it to Matning. Down to 5:24. Left to go in this second period. Drops it back. Here's a wrister deflected and pad saved by Dvorak. Keeler, left wing, over the blue line. Into the corner area. Carries it behind the cage and around to the far side. Pass to the line here. Brown through traffic. Tipped. Knocked down in front. It might have been a block for Grimes. As the cross check there goes uncalled by the official. Players stand back up. Far side half wall, they'll chip it into the corner. Spivot's onto the backhand, tried to play it in front. Puck is loose, a backhand shovel. Zavaleta the save, and LA with the rebound. St. Albert, though, not going to allow them to get very far as Matning down low, played around the near side of the boards as they follow up down low in the corner. Opportunity now for St. Albert, pressuring as the shot blocked by Sloan Hall. In the corner now, Sabres pressuring in the zone, back to the line, through traffic, blocked as Masashi Herman tips it forward. He'll chase after it down low on the goal line. He'll feed it around far side. Deslin Grimes Jr. back to Masashi Herman. That one took a dead stop. It might have hit the lines official in the corner. They'll play that one out to center. Down to 4 minutes in the second period. They'll chip that forward. Surrounded behind the cage they go. Brown through to the forehand. Contact there as Witchin feeds the right wing. Here's Cruz Buchanan back over to Huscroft. Huscroft left side. Plays it off the back wall. Cruz Buchanan with it again. 3:41 remaining. Following up, forecheck near side as LA steal the puck defensively and play it to the middle across the timeline and into the blue line area. Trailer play. Spano blocked. Rebound cleared away by Driver. Spano had a solid look down the middle, but it ends up getting blocked right as he takes the shot. Here's a look for Fabian. Played it to the middle. Swing and a miss on the follow-up. Here's Berriman. Berriman to the near side. Spano shoots high and wide. Johan Lee knocked away by Kobe Jackson at the line. Cutting across was Berriman, able to shut down the opportunity in its tracks. Joining the rush, Driver, able to work it into the attacking zone. Earns some fresh legs for the Sabres. They reverse off of the end wall. Pass ahead. Knocked away from Thomason. As LA back in their own end. To the far corner and passed ahead to the red line. Tip to the middle. As the LA Junior Kings muscled off of the puck there. Played back to Brown. Good recovery though by Thomason and an interference there. That is called on Johan Lee. They're going to call a blindside charge, actually. But nonetheless, it is a penalty that is going to give St. Albert a smoking gun to try and come away with a 4-1 advantage. You'll see here as he makes the play off of the wall, well before the puck ever gets there. 2:31, the time left here in the second period. Face-off coming, far side from our perspective. Digging in, St. Albert looking to try and advance this advantage. Back to the right point, plays it to the right half wall. Looking to head down low is Ruptash. Gets a hit for his efforts. They have it in the corner. Ruptash under pressure there by Young. Plays it down low. Back out to the slot. The one-timer, a nice pad save by Zavaleta. Reversed it down low. LA Junior Kings able to get there. Stays in on side. Keeler back to McDonald at the line. McDonald across right wing side. Back to McDonald. Never mind, that was McIntyre. Left wing, back to McIntyre. Right wing side now. Ruptash powers around the outside on Young. Takes a shot. That one will deflect high and wide. Back towards the point. Controlled by McIntyre. Playing it down the half boards. Off the wall as he goes onto the forehand. Dropped it off in behind the goal. Here's Timko to the middle. Just out of his reach. Ruptash leaves it off for Keeler. Left side McIntyre. McIntyre on his forehand. Trades places. Shoulder fake. Wrister tipped. Knocked down. Timko swipes at it. Here's a puck loose. Blocked on the second try. As Ruptash with it down and behind the cage. Out the far side. Plays it up to the line, right point. Across the left side now. 40 seconds on the power play. Backhand feed to McIntyre. Drags it through onto his backhand. They chip it forward. As McDonald to the right wing side. Ruptash gaining the line once again. Little drag shot stopped by Zavaleta. Loose puck cleared away by King. Junior Kings. Can they feather a pass through? In behind the defense. In on goal. Kim. Glove save by Dvorak. Beautiful stretch pass. Sent Caden Kim in behind the defense. Went to the forehand and Dvorak shut the door. And now a penalty called here against St. Albert. 39.3 left to go in the second period. Caden Kim just about able to get a big goal on the board. The pride of Santa Clarita got a beautiful stretch pass, but Dvorak gets the better of the mano-a-mano exchange. Haig wins it back. Cito will fire off of the window as that's held into the line by Berriman. Gets it to Hughley. Left it behind on the drag attempt as Haig, knocked down by Berriman, fires it right back in. It was tipped down by Cito. Cito tries again. It'll be tipped by Grimes Jr. far side as it comes around. With the puck now, carrying in the near side is Aaron Lee. Lee stops up at the outside of the dot, centers, and it's tipped wide. Far side for Berriman. Takes a deflection to Hall. Backhand feed, another big save by Dvorak. At the buzzer, Dvorak continues to deny LA. The savior of the Sabres right now is Jackson Dvorak, standing on his head in the end of this second period. A big glove save on the breakaway for Kim, and then shuts the door with a player right on the front porch. Excellent stuff from the St. Albert netminder. Jackson Dvorak has been fantastic here in this middle frame. As we welcome you back up into the broadcast booth, hello there. Ian Wilson with you on behalf of the incredible crew of Trick Shot, sports production that does not miss. What a middle frame as these two teams continue to showcase some of their best. And the St. Albert Sabres, they've now got a hefty lead up on the board, but it's not been without effort from the LA Junior Kings to try and cut into that lead. This could easily be a much closer contest right now, if not for the work of Dvorak, stopping two grade A opportunities in the dying minutes of this second period. We could have a completely different ball game heading into the locker room, if not for the work of that young man. Again, hockey is a team sport, but at the same time, it is a collection of these little individual efforts and moments that come together to make the sport special. And right now, there better be a lot of stick taps in that locker room for Dvorak after the work he has put forward, especially in this second period. On the other side, for the LA Junior Kings, again, just keep on trucking. They found some good looks, a beautiful slip pass to Caden Kim, as well as working it to a great opportunity in front, right at the buzzer. They're getting the looks that they've been trying to set up here in this game. They just haven't been able to beat a hot netminder in the late stages of that second period. If they keep on going to the well, eventually some water is going to come back up with that bucket. If you're the St. Albert Sabres, continue with the style of play that you've employed throughout this game. They've been smothering in their own defensive zone, and they continue to provide a plentiful amount of opportunity in transition. It's been exciting to see how they have handled this back and forth affair. We're going to go back to our interviews once again. If you didn't have the chance to hear them during the first intermission, we're going to play them again for you as we caught up with both Zach Ruptash from the St. Albert Sabres as well as the assistant coach from the LA Junior Kings, Mr. Tanner Turcotte. Let's hear what they had to say as the intermission show continues.
How's it going, Canadian Crown fans? Ian Wilson alongside Tanner Turcotte, one of the coaches of the LA Junior Kings ahead of their contest here at the Dale Fisher Arena. Tanner, my goodness, we got to start first. Just talk to us a bit about that wild contest last night against NAX.
That was definitely one of the toughest opponents we ever faced on this team. You know, it was really definitely scary a little bit to be alone on the bench, and but I was glad to have the boys pull together, pull a big win for us. So,
hey, and you come away with the big victory, and of course, Spires with some big saves down the stretch. I believe it was Lee that got the overtime winner. How much of that now carries over to today as far as that emotion that we're going to see out on the ice to start this game?
I think it brings the boys a little bit closer together. Like each game, there's been more character development off the ice as it translates well on the ice, is having each other back, right, and working hard, and they know now what they're here for.
Fantastic. And last thing I got for you, what are some of the keys to this upcoming game here against this tough squad? You guys are looking to come away with another big victory here now that you got the win against Nax.
I think keeping it simple, you know, trying to get checks in, finish our hits, pucks in deep. right? It's just it's a really tough game.
Yep.
You know, every game's never going to be the same, and you know we have to treat it like everything's a championship. So
Absolutely.
the boys are here for us. So
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, and
you.
congratulations on that win last night, and good luck today.
thank you, appreciate it.
How's it going, Canadian Crown fans? Ian Wilson alongside Zach Ruptash from the St. Albert Sabres ahead of their game against the LA Junior Kings here on Friday to finish off the round robin. And Zach, what a tournament it's been so far. Lots of excitement. How have you been so far?
We've been playing pretty good. You know, just need to get some better starts here.
Absolutely. That's obviously a good start, is always a way to gain some momentum in a contest. What are some of the other things you guys got to do as far as the X's and O's and executing your game plan to try and win this game against LA?
Just play simple. You know, once we play simple, the rest will do itself.
And how would you describe your game of hockey? I mean, we've seen a couple games here on Dale Fisher, and you guys were a part of one of them. We saw some wicked goals from you. How would you describe Zach Ruptash hockey?
I think I'm a 200-foot player, can produce offensively.
100%. And what are these tournaments like? Obviously, it's a pretty exciting time, but it's got to be a good time to get on the road and bond with the boys.
Yeah, it's just so fun, you know, playing and then going out, you know.
100%. Last thing, give us a quick message for those fans and family that are tuning in back home.
Cheer for the St. Albert Sabres.
There we go. Well, thank you very much, and good luck in your game.
Yeah, thank you.
Elevator, but the ranks on the way with the fleet. Take a seat or stay out of reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
They backing up.
That here comes Bernie. Pass was picked up. Now it's Brian. Quick shot, scored!
Yeah, don't ask if you're thinking we different. You trash and I'm picking the litter. I'ma spend a whole bag, I'm still getting rich. Really it figures, life's the bitch, now I'm intimate with it. Got hunger, but I'm skipping the dinner to give him the picture. Get him my gold, they ain't giving the silver. They ain't really the winners, long as you're still in the mix. That's a real bad luck, brother. Now I got them all shook, brother. I ain't playing by the book, brother. They'll be reading what it took,
on the
brother.
doorstep,
Soon enough you'll be understood, brother. Started doing everything I could, now I'm doing what you can in case you mistook. Place with grace, but I can't stay put. I'm made to be self-made and make way with the fleet. Take a seat or stay out of reach. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
They backing up.
Welcome back inside of Dale Fisher Arena. This is the GFL Twin Arenas in beautiful Devon, Alberta. It's the Canadian Crown, the U15 Elite Edition. Ian Wilson with you on behalf of the wonderful broadcast crew of Trickshot Sports Production that does not miss. Happy to have you with us wherever you find us from, as it is a frosty, frigid Friday in Edmonton, Alberta, more specifically Devon, just to the southwest of Edmonton. And my goodness, this community has been fantastic. It looks whimsical outside with all the snow, but goodness, I think it feels like minus 20 Celsius, which I know since LA is playing right now, there's probably some Americans tuning in to watch the stream. Let me see, what is minus 20 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Minus 20 Celsius to Fahrenheit. That is the equivalent of -4 Fahrenheit. So it's chilly outside. And that means that it is chilly inside as well, too. These players are battling through the conditions here in Alberta. As we commend them and all that they go through, the trials and tribulations of growing up in this frigid sport. Rister fought off by Dvorak, and he'll hold on for safekeeping. There's 23 seconds left to go on the power play to kick off this third period. Already been more than 11 seconds, so don't have to worry about a quick strike goal just yet. At least let me get through the introduction this time. As Sweet will battle down low, takes his man to the ice. Across, left side, Lebowitz. Lebowitz back up high. Chips it over, left wing. Here's Lebowitz into the glove of Dvorak. And the LA Junior Kings might be closer to even footing right now, if not totally tied. If not for the work of Mr. Jackson Dvorak. If you're just joining us back in the second period, the Sabres netminder was putting on a clinic in the final few minutes. A big glove save and a massive pad save. And that goes along with the big glove save he had earlier on. So it has been a fantastic period for that netminder. Zavaleta been putting in work of his own on the other side. These two teams are throwing haymakers at one another in this contest, their final of the round robin here from the Canadian Crown. Lebowitz left the puck behind. Here's Hughley, backhand centering feed knocked away. As Driver takes him into the wall. Down low, tried to get around Driver again. No dice as Hughley there to help out and support. Puck pinning against the wall as LA try and cut towards the middle. Knocked away by Timko. A chance now in behind the defense. Zach Ruptash in on goal. Takes the stick and Zavaleta gets the save. Ruptash took the defender's stick with him as he went towards the goal, and Zavaleta keeps the door shut. As Sweet ahead for Hughley, left it behind on the transfer. Here's a chance now. Far side, played it towards the middle. As LA able to get back and recover defensively. Now Fabian. Left wing side, gains the red line, gains the zone, feeds it to the right wing. Looking, shooting into the glove of Jackson Dvorak. As here in this contest, a back and forth affair is an apt description. Of course, St. Albert, they're finding a way to get themselves on the score sheet a bit more frequently than their opponent. But again, we talked about the fantastic work of Dvorak being a huge difference maker in this game. We'll see if it keeps up here in the third period. St. Albert, that one through traffic, knocked down in front, cleared to the wing, and swiped away from an incoming player from the circle. Comes over to the near side wall. LA still in the attacking zone here now, applying the pressure. Matning, left side, tried the wrister, no good. As they'll play it down low. Fabian in on the forecheck. Tried to pick up the stick, did the defender, as it goes to King, just out of his reach. Caden Kim will drag back into his own zone. Dropped it off to King. As the big man curls around, near side, dropped it off for Matning, just out of his reach. As Huscroft going after it with Fabian in hot pursuit. To the line, held in by Cito. That one's deflected off a stick, gathered by Kim. Looking for Masashi Herman on the transition play, they dump it in. Reverse play by McIntyre. St. Albert throw it up the middle. Cruz Buchanan, shot out of a cannon on the right wing side. Buchanan to the backhand, on goal, hit the post! As Cruz Buchanan, a great move on the outside, shovels it on goal with the backhand. It goes off the glove of Zavaleta and hits the post. And Zavaleta with a show of appreciation, a couple of stick taps there. A goaltender of culture as they pay their respects to the steal. Zavaleta getting just enough of that to steer it wide off of the bar. Near side, Buchanan rips one wide of the cage as Witchin tried to play it up to the line. Berriman tipped, goes wide. Far side, McIntyre came in off the blue, plays it down low for Huscroft. Huscroft off the boards, back to the right point. Chipped it over near side. It's onside as they play it down low, did Smith. Buchanan played it to the middle off a skate. Witchin to the near side. Centering play knocked away by Berriman. Grimes Jr. now plays it through. Sloan Hall to the right wing for Lee. Onside. Lee curls to the forehand. Under pressure by a pair of Sabres. As Lee looking to pin it against the boards. Puck battle continues as the rugby scrum forms. About 4 or 5 players involved in that one. Puck will come loose, then sent right back into the pile. Poked free. Now with a Sabre player. As Huscroft on the far wing will tip it in and head off on a change. Fresh legs for the Sabres. As Berriman. Back to Grimes, then he'll go to Berriman. Under pressure by Ruptash. Little snap pass picked off. And then fired off the wall. Stanchion hop, though, right into the middle. Timko just out of his reach. Left wing for Hall. Feeds it to the right boards. As Masashi Herman taken down awkwardly as he and another player come together on that far side. Ruptash, it deflected off a King. Jumping up was Johan Lee. Johan Lee, left side, drops it off for Hall. Hall, fanned on the shot, tried to follow up and drag it through. Here's a chance at a 2-on-1. Ruptash, good recovery by Lebowitz as the shot goes wide. Good work by Lebowitz and company to hustle back and get involved defensively on that play. Puck sent to the near side corner. About 5:40 gone by here in this third period. 2-goal lead for St. Albert. As the Sabres are trying to get their record to 1-2. Still looking for their first victory of this Canadian Crown. Of course, LA 1-1 after yesterday. The regulation loss to UCC and the overtime victory against NAX. They'll play it up the near side wall, looking to kick it forwards as Sweet knocked it down through traffic off of the pads of Dvorak. Spinning was Smith off of the contact. He'll play it to the far side as they chip it ahead. Here's a look for Johnson. Here go the Sabres. Chip and chase now. In onto it, around and behind the cage. Holding as they try and play it forward was Van Oen. Young now. Backhand feed, tipped, comes across to Sweet. Far side now for Johan Lee. Stretch feed intercepted, then shot in to the LA zone. Cole Sweet relayed on a tip to Hughley, then played up the middle, given away. In between the dots, backhander over top of the goal. As Haig. Now Hughley spinning around, earning time and space, gives it over to Lee. Johan Lee reversed as Cole Sweet now far side. Miller in hot pursuit, as is Haig. There's Driver, Smith McIntyre. Rink wide feed it goes. As they'll knock their way forward, an opportunity here for the Sabres. Ruptash rips one into the glove of Mikey Zavaleta. 12:45 remaining, a 2-goal lead still for the Raiders. Oh, there it is, the one slip a game because they're Jersey Say Raiders, the St. Albert Sabres. They've got this 3-1 lead. They've not been taking the foot off of the gas, still finding lots of opportunity here in the offensive zone, and they're cutting into that shot lead as well. Fabian against Ruptash. Ruptash wins it back to the line. Shot off of the wall, down low near side corner. Ruptash, contact, as the body's right below. Ends up on the half wall, held in, shot towards the cage, kicked forward and corralled by King. King will carry it himself, up over the red, up over the blue, into the zone, and offside was Fabian. As 12:23, the time remaining here in the third period. Final round robin game for both teams, so you know the pressure's on right now. And the mentality of both of these sides, again, needs to be about building that positive momentum. And with both teams sitting at 2-1, they're neither, depending on how this game finishes, of course, could be a 2-1 team or could be a 0-3 team. You never know. If it stays the way it is right now, and we've got two teams that are 1-2 after the round robin, they will not be in the A division. However, there is still lots to play for and lots to develop through. King, shot, rebound, comes to the near side circle. Opportunity on the wing, looking to fend off the player. Here's a look for Witchin. Witchin tried to cut to the middle, taken out there by Matning. Pass ahead for Spano. Back for it first is Smith, back-ended away from Spano. Tracking back for it is Matning. Matning with Keeler in the area. Takes his man out with a thud against the Zamboni door. Aaron Lee dumps it in. He'll give chase. Round in behind the goal. Applying the pressure as it'll come around the near side. Played through and then chipped forward. The Raiders missed that pass. It'll go the distance. Icing is the call with 11:14 left in this third period. So the face-off going to come to the left wing side as Lee in to take the draw. LA, that flying V formation. As Hall jumps through with the puck. Couldn't get it away from Smith. They'll pin him against the boards, and the battle continues as the two of them will push and shove and battle for this one. Sloan Hall using the size and strength on the blocker hand. Can he cover it up? As then finally it does get frozen. There's a grab from behind and ends up taking him down to the ice. Things boiling over there after the whistle as one of the Sabres grabbed onto Sloan Hall from behind. And then Hall ended up turning around and giving him the business. Looks like it was Timko based off of the fact of him going to the penalty box. And it looks like that's going to be the only penalty. They're going to say it was self-defense on the side of Sloan Hall. And we'll see here after the whistle. After the official covered it up, a little bit of pushing and shoving there. And yeah, Timko grabs onto Hall, takes him down to the ice. So then Sloan Hall, a little bit of a suplex there to Timko. But because Timko was the one that grabbed onto Hall from behind and started the whole altercation, he's going to be the lone one in the sin bin. Left wing side, curling back towards the middle. Across is Herman. Wrister up high, hit the bodies and goes wide. Hall's going to park himself right in front of the cage. I would imagine we're going to see a whole lot more physicality here. Across, right side. Tried to pull it through, did Grimes Jr. as the Sabres. Good penalty kill, they're able to clear. That one goes down courtesy of Harrison Haig. Masashi Herman. Right wing with pace, reaching for it as he gets it set back up for him by Hall. Masashi Herman around the back of the cage, looking for a pass, finds it. One-timer mistriggered by Grimes. As Young gathers it in his own end of center. Works his way up the right wing as his teammates change. Fresh legs coming out for the power play. Another tour of the offensive zone. Hughley, the shot, fought off by Dvorak. As Grimes Jr. was battling in front. That puck will work its way down ice as Zavaleta was thinking about coming to play it, but already down there was Young. Young, a pass up the far side at the blue line, fed it to the middle. And a look across the zone in the middle. Berriman shot just missed the top right corner. Comes out to the middle again. Young, big block in front, and a stick save. Either that or a defensive check sends that over top of the goal. Hard to tell from our vantage point at the opposite end of the rink. But let's see what happens here. The first shot stopped the second one. Is this a defensive block or is this a paddle save? It's a defensive check by Smith Excellent effort in front of the goal. As they send that one up over top, but right place, right time for the defender. As they're waved out, Lebowitz will come in to take his place. Again, lots of prying eyes on this game. Grimes stopped by Dvorak. As McDonald will send it off of the wall. Stanchion hop, he'll try again. Held in by Lebowitz, across to the left side for Young. Young loading, firing, tipped off a couple of bodies, comes loose to the near side, controlled by LA. Back to Young. As Young, they'll feed that one forward. 4 seconds left on the man advantage. Deslin Grimes Jr. to the wing for Berriman. Took a deflection towards, I believe it was Hughley. Here's Lebowitz across, can't pull the trigger on the one-timer. He scores! Couldn't pull the trigger the first time. Reloaded and let it fly. As LA pulled back within one. 8:51 to go in the third. Tried to pull the trigger on the one-timer, and it ends up going in his favor. Jack Lebowitz gets it to go. Glove side, ripples the twine. It's a one-goal game. Feeds it across to the far side, tipped down into LA territory. Hang on to your hats, folks. We've got a one-goal game on our hands. Stretch feed out of the reach of Spano as they'll send it in. Here's Cole Sweet under pressure by Ruptash. Sabres now, a bit of desperation setting in as they know that LA are building momentum. Can they deal with the adrenaline surge right now the Kings are feeling? Here's Kim to the goal and stopped by Dvorak. Loose puck sent high and wide. Back it goes right side. Here's Sweet. Sweet, left wing side, shoots, knocked down. Sabres gather the puck. Nice dangle to the outside. Ruptash gets around Sweet. Ruptash shoots off the shoulder of Zavaleta. Johan Lee. Spano tips it to the middle. There's Thomason. As Thomason on the backhander, hit by Buchanan. Reverse to D to Cito. Cito, far side, working his way over the line. Shot in, Zavaleta the save. Huscroft in, and a stop by Zavaleta as Sweet will send it to the middle. Here's Herman on the counterattack. Right wing side, Hall in the middle. Herman with speed to the forehand, stopped by Dvorak. Rebound blocked. It doesn't get through. Right down Main Street, but it never made it to the goal. Tipped in front, and it goes wide. What a sequence here as this game continues to increase in intensity. Back towards the line. Mattening forced to retreat with it as it'll work its way from right to left, in between the benches. As they work their way forward, Sloan Hall offside was Aaron Lee. My goodness, what a series of events. Big save by Dvorak, followed by that massive opportunity that just went over top of the goal. It looked like somebody blocked it in front. Face-off just outside the blue line. This game stays 3-2. As Mattening will play it off of the wall. Mattening holds it in there briefly as St. Albert retain control. Up the middle they go. Now a near wing feed. Pass to the center. Here's McDonald. Jackson puts it off of Zavaleta. That's up and out of play. End-to-end action as the third period rages on here between the LA Junior Kings and the St. Albert Sabres. Blow for blow, punch for punch. They're finding ways to exploit the other team's defense and find great opportunities at either end. Hughley now towards the goal, taken down hard against the post. Crashes into Dvorak in the process. Doesn't look like the arm went up on either side. Hughley able to pick themselves up. A bit of carnage there as he tried to break around the outside and careened into the post. Couldn't quite pull up at the stop sign as he was steered into the netminder. And again, a wise decision by St. Albert to recognize it was their own player that steered him in to the netminder. There's nothing my biggest pet peeve as a broadcaster is when a defender puts a player into the goaltender and then gets mad at them themselves. So good patience there by St. Albert. Don't want to end up taking a silly penalty and giving LA a key chance to try and tie this game. Lebowitz and Timko, the two of them will push and shove. Drop of the puck, and we are back underway as Matnick over the red line. That one deflected on the way into the zone, ends up in the corner. Smith-McIntyre took the hit, able to kick the puck free, but after it, voraciously, was Hughley on the forecheck. Battle continues down low. Ruptash in there as well. Back out up high, across to the right side. Fan on the shot, did King, left the puck behind. Rounded behind the goal for Lebowitz, centered in front. Can't pull the trigger on the shot, though, as there goes Keeler. Keeler taken out near side half wall, retains control of the puck, feeds it to the middle, out of the reach of Smith, as Young now controls for LA. Young in over the line, knocked away. Back to pick up the puck will be Smith. Gets it right back on the give and go. As St. Albert throw it off a stick. Down to 5:23 remaining in the third period. 1-goal game here from Dale Fisher. Right wing side with pace in behind the cage for Lebowitz. Worked over by Cito against the wall. As the LA Junior Kings trying to find their way to a tie game here. Nearly gave it away, did Grimes. Pulled it through to the opposite side. As Berriman gets it to Grimes Jr. Give and go, just missed the pass as Witchen throws it ahead, turned it over to Berriman. That one's off of the boards, icing indicated, but did not have the legs to get all the way to the goal line. They'll chip it forwards as that puck will work its way down ice. Down to about 4.5 left. Stretch feed opposite side. LA Junior Kings down by 1. St. Albert holding on to the lead right now. A chance now. Ruptash on the wing, shielding off Grimes. Ruptash through, knocked away. Played ahead as it goes to the middle, far side, round the outside. Stolen away by the defense. Ruptash will slip it to the near side as here's the steal by Sloan Hall. Hall centering pass, knocked down in the middle between the dots. Here's Lebowitz, the shot, or part of Johan Lee, I should say. To the near side corner now. Chipping it ahead. Swing and a miss. As now they'll massage it into the zone. Did Haig. Under 4 to go. Cole Sweet. As Johan Lee sends it ahead. It was kicked forward by a skate of Timko coming off of the bench. Aaron Lee turns, passes for Herman, and then fired right back in by St. Albert. As Sweet will play it to the far side, chips it ahead. Hall tips it to the middle and gets it back. Pass ahead left wing for Herman. Send it across the blue line as they enter the zone. Back to the near side. It deflects high off of the near wall. Back out to Sweet. Through traffic. Sweet follows up, pinching. Able to keep it alive for LA. Bumps with his man. They'll go say hello to the official in the corner. Stuck. Can't get out as there's a bunch of players right at his feet. Pinned against the wall. Puck will come loose as Hall bumps with their man against the end boards. Sent to the line. Held in by Sweet. Good deflection as across to grab it is Johan Lee. Over to Cole Sweet. Sweet, near side corner, reverses. 2:45 now left in the third period. Time winding down on this third game of the day. As the Sabres chip it off of the wall, it's held in there by Lee. across the zone. Jumping up was Matning. He'll send it off of the window and around and behind the cage. As they settle, they look and send it forwards as King will settle it, plays it, Love down. As King now, near side across to Matning. Matning in the middle. Lebowitz to Hughley on the near side. Poked away, Lebowitz able to battle it back to LA control. Matning to King, right wing side over the red, dumps it in. Off the end boards, after it is Hughley. D-to-D pass for the Sabres in behind the cage, out the far side. They play it off of the boards. King intercepts towards the middle, knocked away. Puck will bounce off the near wall, and LA go back for it with now only 1:43 left. Now, when will Zavaleta head to the bench here? They play it forward as a backhander ends up on the stick of Cito. Cito off of the window. That'll deflect to King. Down to under 90 seconds remaining here. When will Zavaleta head towards the bench as Jeff Turcotte will call for it? There goes Zavaleta, extra attacker out on the ice. Shoveled it in front. Dvorak is able to cover up. That was one of the questions we had about the LA Junior Kings yesterday, is they had a solid 40-second to a minute possession in the attacking zone when they were down by 1 to UCC, and they never called Zavaleta to the bench. They had a lot of opportunity they could have utilized the extra attacker for, and by the time Zavaleta eventually did make it to the bench, it was too little too late. They're not going to make that same mistake here today. As 1:13 remains, they get the offensive zone faceoff draw, and Zavaleta had already made his way to the pine, so he will stay there as they get the extra attacker out on the ice. Here comes the kitchen sink as they're ready to throw everything they've got at the Sabres. As St. Albert now holding on to the 1-goal lead, as LA have been peppering Jackson Dvorak all game long. 40 shots, so a 38 save performance so far from Dvorak. Lebowitz, Hughley, Hall, as well as Grimes Jr., Berriman, and Young. That's the six-man crew out there for LA. Looks like McIntyre. It's the only number I can see right now at this distance. One back to the line for Lebowitz. Across, right side. At the circle is Grimes Jr. This arena filling up here to see the end of this closely contested contest. Here's Lebowitz through traffic, blocked, ends up in the far side corner. Backhander to the line, held in by Lebowitz through traffic, wide left. At the line, Grimes Jr. knocked away. Can they end it? Sabres looking for the dagger, and they'll be taken down. Good recovery defensively. Buchanan was going to take it and try and find a way to score safely. Poked away by Grimes Jr. LA looking for a chance to get up ice. Now 33 seconds left. Sabres shoot for the open cage. Knocked down by Hall. Hall to Lebowitz. Lebowitz will carry. Gains the red line. Goes to his right, onside into the zone. Lebowitz looking, shooting, stopped, rebound loose in front. Dvorak is down, puck still loose, and the whistle goes. 13 seconds remaining. Dvorak keeps the door shut one more time. Net remains empty as LA able to defend on the back check. As now the timeout going to be called by the Sabres. So St. Albert are going to call their timeout now, as the opportunity to try and rally the troops as the Sabres 3-1 their lead at one point. Now the Junior Kings are knocking on their door, trying to come away with a tie contest and potentially force a little bit extra. 3-2 your score if you're just joining us. Net is empty for LA. 6-on-5 for the extra attacker. Huscroft, Buchanan, McIntyre. Witchin as well. On that near side will be the captain, Cito. Going up against Berriman, Hall, Grimes Jr., Lebowitz, Young, and Hughley. Near side face-off draw. Drop of the puck, and there we go. Back to the line. Lebowitz to the middle. Wrister. Dvorak the save, and no rebound given. 7.8 now remaining. As Lebowitz was able to find the shooting lane, but there was no traffic, or at least very little. He had one man in front of him, was Huscroft. I stand corrected from the behind the net camera. There's a lot of bodies there, but I don't think any of them were particularly blocking the vision of Dvorak. Near side draw once again. Tie up, back to the line. Lebowitz has to go quick, shovels it across. One-timer, Dvorak with the leather! 2.2 remaining, and Dvorak. A fairly routine save, but a little bit of extra flair at the end of it. Nice pass across to the right circle, and Dvorak had lots of time to get across and get square to it. Gets it with the glove, as Jeff Turcotte and company with one extra few set of words. The Sabres are just going to line up like a free kick in front of their netminder. 2.2 is a lot of time. You could win the draw and take a shot, but in this case, it's a defensive zone win for St. Albert. The Sabres hold on. 3-2 is your final score. Final shots on goal, 44-27, as St. Albert, your victor, picking up their first win here at the Canadian Crown. So the LA Junior Kings will drop to 1 overtime win and 2 regulation losses, while now St. Albert have 2 regulation losses and 1 regulation win. A closely contested contest here, 3-2, the final score. Both teams showcasing excellency in this game. You love to see when two sides give you a little bit of a classic. Be sure to stick with us as we've got the Player of the Game presentations coming up very, very shortly. We'll have the WHL Heart and Hustle Awards given out as well. Then after that, we will have our final game of the day on Fisher, the Calgary Canucks Bisons and St. George's Prep. As a fantastic game here from Dale Fisher, a 3-2 final with the game-winning goal going to Kobe Jackson, 18:04 remaining in the second period. As Cruz, Buchanan, and Keeler coming away with the goals in the opening frame, then Kobe Jackson at the 18:04 remaining mark in the second period. That's all the damage they needed to do. So Lebowitz going to be the player of the game on the side of the purple and gold. And no surprises there. Dvorak, the player of the game on the side of the Sabres. As listed here, a 42 save performance for Dvorak. Hustle and Hart going to Grimes Jr. And then Mr. Van Oen coming away with the Hustle and Hart on the side of St. Albert. Again, a 42 save performance from Dvorak. Solid net minding. As that will do it for this contest from Dale Fisher. St. Albert coming away with their first win of the U15 Elite Canadian Crown with a 3-2 final over the LA Junior Kings. That's going to do it for this contest. Ian Wilson with the call. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing in this contest with us. We're going to be right back in just a few as we get ready to our final game of the day, the Calgary Canucks Bisons and St. George's Prep right here on Dale Fisher. Of course, the crew of Trickshot Sports Production that does not miss, bringing you all the best of the Canadian Crown. As always, do us a favor, be the best version of yourself, be safe, be well, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.